question for you. If you were to get some type of critical illness, would your family or your lifestyle suffer from the loss of income? Another question for you. How many people do you know under the age of 40 who has suffered from cancer or some type of critical illness? Last one. If you were to have a heart attack or some other type of critical illness, would you rather lose your home or lose your mortgage? Would you rather lose your home or your mortgage? Hey everyone, Kadeem here. And today we're going to be talking about critical illness and critical illness insurance and the benefits of it. But before we go there, you already know what you can do. If you like the content, you like the channel, feel free to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. I appreciate it. So the Canadian Housing and Mortgage Corporation, they ran some statistics and they said about 3% of all mortgage foreclosures happens based on the homeowner passing away, right? Premature death. But 48% of foreclosures occur because the homeowner got some type of critical illness. That's a high number. Why are we talking about this? Because today's video is about critical illness insurance and the benefits of it. And I just told you one huge benefit, right? They said 48% of all mortgage foreclosures occur because of some type of critical illness. Now, how can we really avoid that? Let's talk about it. But before we really go into it, I want to share with you some information. I've heard so many different stories of people sitting down with advisors, people calling different life insurance companies, whatever it might be, getting a life insurance policy for themselves. But then they miss something that is so important. They miss something that is so vital, and that is the critical illness insurance. Why is it important? Why is it vital? Because we're living longer, right? We're living longer, and typically we overcome these things called critical illness insurance or critical illnesses. Now we're calling it critical illness insurance, and that's what a lot of people know it by, but there's so many different terms that it can go by, such as retirement protection plan, education protection plan, child protection plan, whatever you want to call it. And the big reason why this thing was created, it was created by Dr. Marius Bernard, forgive me if I'm pronouncing the doctor's name wrong, but he created it because he realized as he was healing patients, I believe it was in Africa, as he was healing patients from these critical illnesses, these diseases that they were getting, he realized that they would often get sicker afterwards or pass away afterwards because they didn't have the money to sustain. He would heal them, but all their money would be gone because they had to use all the money that they had, their savings, to heal themselves, to pay for the medical expenses. So how do we overcome that? Put a plan in place beforehand, and if some type of illness comes up, you get some type of coverage, right? You get some type of payment to you, some type of protection to pay for these medical expenses, to do what you really want with it, but that's the point of it, to pay for these medical expenses that pop up, the medication, the doctor's visits, the different tests that need to be run, whatever it might be, so that you don't have to touch your savings. You don't have to touch your education savings, the savings that's for your child to go to school. You don't have to touch that. You don't have to touch your retirement savings because you make sure you put enough of this thing called critical illness insurance in place so that you're protected. You and your family are protected and your future plans are protected. That was a big reason why it was created from Dr. Bernard. Now, you don't know how many stories I've heard of people sitting down with advisors and or life insurance companies, whatever it might be, and getting themselves a life insurance plan. But then when the advisor brings up critical illness insurance, the person says, no, I don't need it. But then they come back years later, sometimes within 12 months, and they ask that same advisor about the critical illness insurance policy. They say, yeah, I want to sit down and talk about that thing now. Can I get it? And as the advisor probes, as we're supposed to do, then they realize that individual calling them already has some type of, they've already been diagnosed with the critical illness. At that point, there are options, but whatever you already have is not going to be covered. That's typically the way it goes. It's not like you do it after the fact and you get the payout. The point is to do it preemptively, to get this insurance plan in place so that if something were to happen to you, then you get the coverage, right? You get the benefit of that insurance policy. Now, some people don't like that because what if nothing happens to you? Okay, I understand that. Here's the way I look at it. If I could put money down in case something were to happen to me, knowing I'm going to get 75 grand, 100 grand, whatever it might be, whatever I set in case I get an illness, I'm going to do that, because at the end of the day, if nothing happens to me, I'm making sure there's additions or riders on the policy where I get my money back. It's a win-win situation. I can't lose. Because if something happens, the money's there to take care of my family, the money's there to pay for my medical expenses and so on. But if nothing happens, I have this however many thousands of dollars that I've been paying into this plan every year, and I didn't use it, but I get this lump sum of money now. I can do whatever I want to with that. So those are some benefits or things that you can put in place where if you don't use it, and hopefully you don't have to use it, then you get that money back. If I know that putting this type of plan in place could help me to stay out of that 48% that lose their home because of a critical illness, then I'm going to put this thing in place. Why? Because again, it's not really a gamble. I can get my money back because I have the return of premium. So why not? That's my look on it. So let me clarify. Critical illness insurance, retirement protection plan, life protection plan, education protection plan, whatever you want to call it, critical illness insurance, CI for short, it is whereby you get some type of critical illness, you're diagnosed. Typically it's a 30-day survival period. You survive the 30 days and then you get a payout of whatever lump sum you decide on that comes to you. Why is that important? Because I asked you in the beginning, would you rather lose your home in the event of a critical illness, or would you rather lose your mortgage? So if you have enough on the policy, your critical illness insurance, your benefit, you can pay for your medical expenses, heal, and of course take care of that first and foremost. But if you put enough on there, you can also pay off your home, or at least pay down a certain portion and lose your mortgage, pay down your mortgage. So there's many different things you can do with it. You can use it for whatever you want to use it for. Of course, the point is, again, to cover those medical expenses. But I just wanted to hop on here for a quick video to share that with you, to give a little bit more insight of critical illness insurance and why it might be beneficial for some people. Because at the end of the day, if you don't have this, what are you going to have to do? Take equity out of the home? Take your investments out, right? Sell off all your stocks? You're going to have to go through extreme measures sometimes just to pay for the medication. I've heard some numbers when it comes to medication. I don't really want to say much, but I've heard $5,000, $10,000 for different medication for cancer patients and so on. That's not including necessarily doctor visits and so on and so forth, right? I would just say, do your research, look into these things, sit with someone, have a conversation on it, reach out to me, have a conversation about it, and see if it's something that's meant for you. See if it's something that could benefit you. It all depends on your situation. So everybody, hopefully that was helpful for someone. Kadeem here. Stay happy, stay healthy, and stay blessed.